Welcome back to Uriel's Lantern. I don't know if I was going to do another radiant pathway today. I guess I'm going to, in part because the sun is so blinding right now. I got up to one of the peaks of the hills I normally climb. Sun is bright right in front of me. It's amazing. So if there was ever a day to squeeze out some consciousness that isn't serving me, it's with this bright ass sun bearing down on me. So let's do it. The topic of today is justice. I want justice. So we're going to pray and manifest justice. And justice kind of has two parts, right? It is good things for me and bad things for others. And normally we don't like to do bad things to other people. But in this case, I'm doing it with divine authority, and I'm doing it with their consent. I'm doing it with divine authority because Luke 10:19 talks about your ability to go trample on snakes and scorpions, the vipers of the world. And you have divine authority to do that. Thine enemies, like trample thine enemies. It's cool. It's good to do. So I'm coming at this with divine authority. And secondly, I'm coming with it with consent. Because the second that somebody steals from you, the second that somebody takes something that's yours, it's all God's, right? But at least in the temporary sense, it's mine. I own it. I possess it. Take something in my possession. Maybe it's not mine. Maybe it's still God's. I recognize that. But they took it from me. And the second that you take something from me that isn't yours to rightfully or lawfully take, you're consenting to the retribution. Now, that doesn't mean that you consent to, something insanely harsh like capital punishment. But, the second that you take something from me, I think the Bible talks about sevenfold damage return. So that's what we're going after. And that's all part of justice. So when we do a radiant prayer or a radiant pathway, we got to start by aligning everything. That means our heart, our body, our mind, our soul, and be in a position to both send out and receive, and to kind of embody that vibration, embody that energy, embody that state of being. All right, so, one of the fundamental rules is there can't be two versions of you. There can only be one. And I guess I'm doing this a little backwards, but you're already consciously creating. Actually, you're not consciously creating, you're unconsciously creating. You're already manifesting your reality. Look around you. Everything that's around you is what you've manifested in life. It's not necessarily what you started with, but if you're somewhere in your mid-20s, then whatever you have created by that point is your manifestation. And now what we want to do is go from sort of unconscious or subconscious manifestation to manifesting consciously, being a conscious creator. And in order to do that, you kind of have to envision what it is that you want. The more detail, that can help spirit get you there. But in order to have that life, you have to be that person. Which means we got to bury the person that we are now, not literally, that's a figurative thing, but we figuratively bury them, and we arise anew, and slowly bring ourselves to become the person that can handle the blessings that we're looking for. And God being God, oftentimes is like, you know what, that's not good enough. I heard your plan, and I'm going to make it better. But just so you know, it's going to involve some extra work on your part. But the payout should be swell. So that's what a lot of light workers and, spiritually motivated people are going to experience. I don't know if that's a common experience for everybody, but that seems to be a somewhat common experience for light workers. Okay, so to start, we got to get in our body. Some people like to meditate, kind of quiet their mind and get in their physicality. I think exercise helps me do that more. So that's part of why I'm out here walking every single day, doing 7 miles. All right, so I'm going up So I can hear the snow beneath my shoes. I can feel the hamstrings doing some work. I can feel the labored breathing. Feel a little snot in my nose. I broke my selfie stick, so I can feel my ungloved hand getting cold. Feel the sun in my eyes. It's a beautiful, cold, crisp day. Yeah, that's good enough to be in my body. And then the second step, you kind of got to open up your heart. And you say, hey, heart, can you open up? I hear my heart grudgingly say yes. And it starts unfurling like a flower, all the petals pulling back from the bulb. And there's a little flame. That flame is the spark of God. We're going to breathe life into it. Help that flame expand some. Oh. So just after a couple breaths, I feel like it expands up to about the size of my heart. Started as a little candle flame, but now it's bigger. And especially while doing some sun gazing, we say, hey, heart, I would like divine justice. Divine justice. I would like things that have been stolen to me returned and repaid sevenfold by the damages that they've caused, the hurt they've created, irreparable harm they have done. Everybody that's injured me, either directly or tangentially, I would like them to experience a very abrupt and abrasive form of cosmic justice. I would like to be the beneficiary of a transfer of wealth, a transfer of peace, transfer of calm and comfort. I would like the mental anguish that I have experienced to be removed from my body, multiplied 7 to 10 fold over the course of years, and delivered to mine enemies in the biblical sense, and delivered back to them with pain and punishment until they purify and repent, stop harming me, apologize, make restitution. But until then, pain and punishment under divine authority and with their pre-authorized consent. They harm me, they accept responsibility and liability the second that they did. So now we're going to make a little vase for their mind's eye. I like to make a Chinese vase about neck high, about shoulder width apart. This is going to store some consciousness. We're all just made of consciousness. Okay, so now let's ask, hey, what's stopping me from getting divine justice? And the first thing I heard back was time. It needs time. So I'm going to scoop that out off my chest, put it in my vase. What else do we need, heart? More belief. And that's like comfort in the belief. It's not aggressive belief. It's not anxious belief. It is a comfort, raw knowing that this thing is coming. I'll scoop away some of the wrong types of belief, put that in my vase. All right, what else is blocking me, heart? Yeah, we keep coming back. This has got to be like a major character wound for me. You're not worth it. Like, you're not worthy of justice. Well, the fuck I'm not. I'm going to take a scoop of that. Put that in my vase. I worked hard. They have harmed me. I I have divine authority, and they pre-authorize this with their consent. So I'd say I'm in a good spot there. All right, heart, what else? Oh, that's some good sun gazing there. That hurts a little. I hear a little bit of "you can't do it." Like I'm not capable. All right, let's scoop that out of there. Dump that in. All right, heart, is there anything else that's in the way of getting to divine justice? And it says the odds are stacked against you. Yes, I'm fighting the state of Pennsylvania. That feels like an uphill battle, and I shall scoop that down that goes. Ironically though, I got God on my side. I got the angels on my side. I have divine authority. It's like me and God versus all of you dickwads. I'll take those odds. I'll do that over and over. All right, last one. Anything else in there? Heart, why won't I get justice? That one came back with "you're incompetent." So incapable seems like unable or unwilling to do the work. Incompetent is more like not smart enough to make it happen. So I will take that as a separate suggestion. I shall scoop that out, put that in my vase, and offer said vase to Gaia. Gaia, my love, I would like to dump this vase full of used consciousness that is no longer serving my highest and best. Are you willing to take that? I heard yes, dear, and I shall lower that for my beloved Gaia. All right. So when you're done, we take a nice deep breath so that we can sigh it all out, because we were telling our body it's done. And then we say, thank you, Mother Gaia. Now we got to build a little pillar of light, kind of stretch us up. So there's going to be earth energy that comes from below us. There's going to be sky energy that comes from above us. Some beautiful sun energy from this big bright sun. And it fills my crown with the sky energy, bright white light, some bright yellow light from the sun. I'm going to fill it up with some rust-colored earth energy from below. And they'll meet in my chest, at my heart. They'll mix my eternal spark, and the earth energy will go up to the heaven, and the heaven energy will go down to this Jurassic core of the earth. That feels pretty good. All right, we're going to fill up a little light body. So right in our heart where this stuff is mixing, I can feel a little golden thread poking through. So I'm going to pinch at that. I'm going to pull it out. I'll breathe a little life into it, and I'll shove it into my etheric light body. Typically, your light body is sort of human-shaped, but for the purpose of this, I make it a sphere. And I'm inside of that sphere, kind of filling it up like a bubble surrounding me, or a soccer ball surrounding me. Oh. So I'm going to breathe in a time or two, and we're going to allow this golden light to kind of pump up my soccer ball here, my light body. All right, now we got to make a little memory ore, a little memory cube, a little memory orb, and I'll infuse this with a little Reiki. I can just imagine a ball between my hands and put a little Reiki into that. And justice. And what I'm really seeing is a transfer. And I see it kind of like, I've been doing a Greek mythology of late. And so I'm sort of thinking of like Pandora's box, where she opens it up and all these spirits come out representing different emotions and conditions. And I'm seeing negative emotions and conditions sort of as spirits leaving me and going towards the wicked and the wrongdoers. And from the wrongdoers, I see giant piles of money, as well as their comfort and sanity turning towards me. And so they are being deprived of comfort, happiness, joy, sanity, safety, security, peace, and I am living abundantly. Those things are being pressed into my reality, and all of my discomfort, my anxiety, my burdens, my pain, my loss, my frustration, my anger, my chest pains and anxiety that I've at times experienced, all that I see leaving me and going towards the newly impoverished, wicked and wrongdoers, stripped of their sanity, stripped of their health, and instead granted all kinds of burdens and anxieties too heavy to bear and too painful to think about. And that is the exchange for today. And again, I'm not just doing something like black magic or being evil. This is coming here with divine authority, biblical freaking authority, and I'm coming here with their consent, knowing that, as soon as you cause harm, you are liable for the repercussions. And this is what they are. But they've been piling up for a while, so they are rather sizable. So we've been putting Reiki into this little memory orb. Oh wait, I gotta make a memory. So so I got a hearing coming up in March, and at this hearing, I'm fully expecting the judge, my wife, her attorney, basically anybody associated with this that isn't me, to come in with some kind of physical ailment, whether it's a broken bone, skin lesions, new warnings of cancer, diabetes, some flesh-eating bacteria, genital warts or injury, whatever the hell it is. I'm expecting to see these people in physical pain and torment. And then I guess I'm telling my dad later about the experience of of calling for justice and knowing that it would have physical side effects that would be visible, and then seeing them in real life in the court setting as all these people are deeply uncomfortable and I'm sitting there quite peaceful. Again, I wouldn't do this to strangers. I wouldn't do this to loved ones. I wouldn't do this to people generally. But again, I'm coming with divine authority. I'm coming with their pre-approved, pre-authorized, prepaid consent, and looking forward to this transfer and justice coming my way. So we're going to raise that memory orb into the light body. We're going to push all of that up to the sky, breathe a little life behind it. I hear accepted, and I look forward to seeing what that manifests as, especially the physical ailments. Black eyes, broken wrists. These people are writing things, so broken wrists or arthritis or something like that, making it difficult for them to write, those sorts of things. So we'll see what happens there. But calling in divine justice, manifesting divine justice. Yeah. And they're looking for parameters. And my parameters are harsh, abrupt, abrasive. So I'm going to be grateful now. And we're going to be a magnet. So we're going to pull this in with magnetism. So I'm a magnet. It's a magnet. There's most of you are probably too young to remember transparencies, but teachers used to teach you transparencies, and they would put a transparency down and they'd write with marker, and then they might layer another one on or just replace it. But there's 10,000 transparencies, thin plastic see-through sheets with different kinds of realities on them, and I'm poking through to find the exact one that matches this vibration, and I'm pulling it towards me, and it's pulling me towards it. And then lastly, kind of a new little step here, I want to put in place a couple questions. And these questions are purposely designed to help manifest this. And they're sneaky questions meant to trick my own subconscious. So why does the universe try to respond as quickly as possible to turn this into a reality? Why does the universe help fulfill every single conscious creation that I do? Why does God provide me with absurd favor, absurdly large, bountiful, miraculous portions of his favor? Why does Jesus spend so much time tending to my heart, my anxiety, my frustrations, my sadness, my grief, to go fill me with strength and sort of divine power to be able to do this, divine grace? All of those questions are meant to be in a state of having, asking about the state of having, which requires assuming the state of having, and they're all meant to drive my subconscious towards manifesting this thing. So again, we're trying to apply, there's lots of different techniques out there for this. I'm not the first one to come up with some sort of trick in life for consciously creating the environment around you. I think it starts at a spiritual level before it starts in the physical. So you have to kind of, and ironically, your like imagination is the present, your physical reality is the past. And you kind of have to live from your imagination, not all the time, that probably isn't healthy, but at least when you're like intentionally creating the reality around you and sort of setting parameters with God of what you would like that to be, you sort of live from your imagination and then you call it in from there. Anyways, those are my unanswered questions, and I'm going to leave it up to my subconscious to dig into the universe to find the answers. Let's see what she gets. Let's see what she pulls in. Let's see what she creates as she's like driven by this need to answer. Why is it that God's portion is miraculous with me? Why is it that these transfers of wealth and spiritual conditions happen so rapidly? I will allow her to ponder that and manifest it into reality. God bless, guys.